That's it, you stretch down. You stretch down. There is definitely an art to getting the horse's head down, and I often think how I would describe it, how I would transfer that information, and as yet I can't actually think how I'd describe it. It's very frustrating. Hello. Lovely day, isn't it?
Yeah,
beautiful. Oh, that's it. Well, he was clapping at his dogs, but poor Jupiter thought he was clapping at him, and he thought, oh, have I got to go? But no, I just sat quiet, and I'll pick up the trot again. There's a nice little steep kind of rise up here. It's really good for them to go up. Because left is home, and you just trot up here. He says, oh, which way shall I go? Oh, he says, that was steep. And then when you come out here, the forestry machinery's made all this kind of look stuff, which he doesn't mind going over at all. But when I came up here on Ronan said, oh, I can't go through that. And I thought, I'm not going to have a battle with him, so I just rode up the way till it was flatter, and he was a bit too nervous. I think he probably would have preferred to jump from a standing start right over the whole fire break. I got that feeling, and I knew that was in his mind. Like, if you make me, I'll do it, but I'm going to go backwards and then I'm going to launch myself. Right. So then we come up here again and hopefully get a trot at it. Good boy. I do that a couple of times, and then often I walk round this tree and come back down it. Just say Jupiter doesn't care what mud he goes through. Or see, now we're heading towards home, and we're going down this bit of a hill. We do actually canter down here, but obviously not on him. So what I'm going to do is, because he trotted, he thinks we're going to trot merrily off home. I'm going to do this and make him trot a circle, and then we'll go up here. He says, oh, I'm not going to trot, I'm not going to trot. He's got wise to this now. He says, well, if it's going to be work, we'll just walk. And of course that's all I wanted him to do anyway. But I do want it to be his decision. So rather than pull him up down this hill, I want him to walk himself, which now he says, okay, I'll walk. That's a big bang on the... I hope the camera's all right. So now we're heading for home, which before would have produced stress for him. His head would have been up. If I'd have had the reins on the buckle, he'd have just been trolleying off towards home. So we have made quite a bit of progress, and he isn't the most difficult horse I've ever ridden by a long shot, but he's difficult enough to show, you know, how horses can be turned round. He's not done, and he'll be here for quite a while, but they can be turned around in a relatively small space of time. You know, just by sort of thinking, having an action plan. I've always got a goal. I come up here with a goal, if the certain things happen, then I can alter my goal in a microsecond. For instance, the other day I was walking down this path here and we met a man and a woman with about 5 dogs in between them, 3 of which were on leads, and one wasn't, and it was a spaniel, rather elderly spaniel, but he could move surprisingly fast considering he was quite overweight, and he decided it was his job to chase us away, that we were a threat to his family, and he was really barking and coming straight at the horse, and actually bit Della's back legs, which isn't very helpful when you're trying to get them used to dogs. And so what I did was, when he came for the second go, because he bit the legs and then ran off, and they called him and he wouldn't come along, so what I did is I whipped round like this, and I confronted the dog who's coming towards us, and of course that stops the dog then, because dogs are predators and they understand, like this horse is confronting him. And as he stopped, I went like this and I started trotting towards him, and I was saying, "Boo at you, boo at you," and really shouting at the dog, and I drove him all the way up here, and he's running, and I'm saying, "Boo," and I'm trotting really fast towards him, and he disappeared into the bushes, and I stood guard. And he's standing there looking at me thinking, can I come out? And I said, "Don't you do that again." And I think his owners didn't know what to think. But the thing is, all the time the dog's behind you, to the horse, it's like they've got to run. So that's what I'm saying, I can adapt my goal in a microsecond. I thought the best way out of this is not have the dog chase us, we'll chase the dog.